Welcome to Bastards of Oblivion. Medical care for the military is a benefit also afforded to their dependents. In this way, the Bastards of Oblivion can scout for potential candidates through the use of regularly scheduled biomechanical maintenance. As the subject matures, observations, evaluations, and assessments are made. If the subjects exhibit any psychic or paranormal abilities, they are then prescribed certain medications, therapy, or counseling. They may be diagnosed with certain behavioral disorders. These disorders are often the result of the missions they are sent on. The disorders also serve as a cover which deceives everyone, including the agent and oftentimes their handlers. Over 80% are driven to the brink of insanity. This society is made up of volunteers. Everyone has heard rumors and conspiracies about secret occult orders experimenting with world domination. The Bastards of Oblivion are the frontline psychic special forces authorized by the High Command to go after the bad guys. The organization is so secret that even many of the members do not know they are involved due to their security clearance. You might be one. Even though the organization was not formed until 2134 AD, it didn't receive its name until April 21st, 1889 in Austria after a failed attempt to assassinate baby Hitler. It was this that made us realize that we were on a tiring, endless mission which only God understands. Thus, on that drunken night in the park, we dubbed ourselves the Bastards of Oblivion. I was born in 1963. In 1978, I was approached by High Command. In the dream, I was flying. As I was flying, I realized I was flying. This made me realize I was dreaming, and this caused me to wake up. When I woke up, I got out of bed to go to the bathroom. I looked at my clock. It was 3:35 in the morning. When I came back to bed, I saw myself laying in my bed, asleep, and this just about blew my mind. Sorry about that, my fault. There was a guy with what I now know to be a smartphone. He was wearing what I now know to be a Continental Navy uniform. I again woke up. I laid there puzzling over the dream. I had to pee. I got out of bed and looked at the clock. A strange feeling of déjà vu came over me. It lasted until I returned from the bathroom and I looked at the clock, which read 3:34 a.m. I was sure it said 3:35. I reasoned that a 3 can look like a 5 when you are half asleep and having dreams about the American Revolution for some reason. Certain agents have certain clearances for certain reasons, which no one is really certain of. In this way, one hand washes the other, but neither hand really knows what the other hand is doing. High Command compares it to a body of which we are cells. High Command is the head and controls the body. Anyway, these clearances I speak of, the more vividly you can recall the dream mission, the higher clearance you have for that mission. That's a good general rule of thumb. At the time of my recruitment, I had absolutely no clearance. I now have authority and clearance to share these figments of my imagination, because C-19 has given me an excuse to kill time. That's a joke, you'll get it later. So anyway, here's what happened that fateful night at 3:33. I woke up and I had to pee. I looked at my clock. It was 3:33 in the morning. I walked into the bathroom. And I was suddenly somewhere else. I looked around the room. It was a museum. People were in costumes from all over the world, and some from places I'd never even heard of. They were all standing still and looking at me. At first I thought they were mannequins, but no, they were people. Men and women of all ages and a few of questionable gender. In 1978, questionable gender was taboo, so this was new to me. Anyway, Lieutenant Christian walks towards me. I am so glad you decided to join us. I promise you that every person in this room is a bigger hero than the ones we share in your history books. Each and every one of us welcomes you. As Lieutenant Christian spoke to me, I recalled having a dream where I now know it was him, Lieutenant Christian, who was dressed as a circuit rider preaching from the Old West. Howdy, kid. Enjoying your dream? I was suddenly loose. I had been extending my hand, and the feeling was as if I was pushing the rock away, but it lifted into my hand instead. I knew this was a dream suddenly, and I could feel myself waking up. Oh, no, you don't, the preacher said. And he held up his hand, and it felt as if wool was being pulled off my eyes. Literally, the feeling of small, slender, thread-like fibers. It didn't hurt. It was relieving, like taking off your shoes after a long day. As the wool was removed from my eyes, the room came back into focus, and the lieutenant made me place my hand on what appeared to be a slab of black obsidian, about 5 by 11 inches more or less, and about a half an inch thick. It was floating in midair all of its own accord. It's basically the same oath I took when I joined the Navy, only there were words like time-space continuum and galactic federation. The really odd thing about it was that when the ceremony took place, it was in every tongue known and unknown. When the words were heard, they were manifested like a little spark or piece of fire. It was very cool. And we all shook hands and hugged. Then I stepped out the door and I came in, and I was on my way down the hall to my bedroom where the clock said it was 3:34 a.m. I have no recollection of what happened after that.